Yo, Jeremy, this is Chris, man. Man, I just want to say I appreciate the work you're doing, man. I've been seeing you put in mad work for the community. I have a very simple question I've been wanting to really ask you. What are your views on virtual learning during COVID-19? And do you think it's been useful or not?
Great question. Great, and I'm feeling your energy, by the way, too. So, as far as my thoughts on, I'm gonna talk to you about whether or not I think the virtual learning was beneficial. But my thoughts on virtual learning as a whole, I mean, it's one of these things. It's like I heard sometimes you do what you gotta do, so you can do what you wanna do. Let me bring that back. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do until you can do what you wanna do. So we really didn't have a choice. Most people didn't wanna do virtual learning, but it's like we're in the middle of a global pandemic. People are dying. And if we did not do that, the numbers probably would have been twice what they are right now. Because we already didn't handle it how we should have. We were already late and really didn't take it serious the way we should have. And so I get it. It's inconveniencing for everybody. Businesses have failed, marriages have fell apart, companies have tanked. This has literally rocked the world. This has literally affected everybody across the globe. You know what I'm saying? And so it's one of these things where we really didn't have a choice. We in the middle of a global pandemic. You got to do virtual learning. Now, do I think it's beneficial and useful? Absolutely. Is it ideal? It depends. It's weird. It's like I got some students that's like, man, I love virtual learning. I can learn from home. I can do my thing. I can just go to the refrigerator and use the bathroom. Some people are like that. Some people's like, man, I miss school. I've been around my friends, being around people, PE and just in the hallway and kicking in and, you know what I'm saying, going to the cafeteria, you know what I'm saying, like needing that breakfast or that lunch because they might not have it at home. It affects everybody differently. You got some teachers who love virtual learning. You got some teachers that despise it and they're like, I wish I was in the classroom. It's different. My mindset is if we can't control it, how do we do the absolute best with what we have in front of us? And so I think for some people, virtual learning has been amazing. It's been smooth and they love it. But for some people, they've really struggled. I've got some students that I know that have excelled doing virtual learning. But then some students, it's gotten really, really not good for them and they really need to be back in the classroom. So I think it really depends on who you are, but I'll challenge every single one of you with this, whether you're watching this now from home or on Zoom or you're watching it virtually or you're back in the classroom and you might feel a certain type of way, it is what it is. So what we have to do now is we have to be disciplined and not complain so much about things that we can't control. It is what it is. The last time I checked, my complaining, my griping, my attitude, my frustration did not change the situation at all. The only thing that can change how I feel about the situation is my perspective to the situation. So when I tell myself, like, man, at least I'm a part of a school or a district or a country that has Wi-Fi, that has technology, that has devices, that has computers and tablets, that has equipment, at least I have these capabilities. Because there's somewhere else, somebody else across the world that's praying for and hoping for the very thing that you could be complaining about. I've been to some schools in some different countries that don't have electricity. I've been to some schools where it's a dream for them to have a tablet or to be able to log in or have a username or a password. You know what I'm saying? Like you've got educators that care about you. It's just as hard for them as it is hard for you. I'm gonna challenge you to do the best you can with what you have. That's what being a next level student is all about. All right, good question. Question number 2, what you got?
How did the drug abuse affect your mental health?
Yeah, great question. So you're obviously familiar, with my story. You know what I'm saying? So the drug and the alcohol abuse affected my mental health. Like I was already dealing with like depression and anxiety and other stuff. So like the drug and alcohol abuse, that just made it worse. Right? And so it's almost like it kind of masks the pain just for a little bit. But when you sober up or the high comes down, that pain is still there. And so it destroyed my life. What got me in a better place mentally is when I stopped putting that negative things that will alter my brain and my body, and I begin to connect with people. I begin to get counseling. I begin to sit with counselors and therapists. I begin to be more open and honest and transparent with my family and my friends. I begin to have a spirit of influence that would challenge me to look at life differently. You know what I'm saying? Like that is what really brought about the change in my life. But the drugs, it just made it worse. You know what I'm saying? And I know people. Think about this. I know people who are dealing with some crazy stuff. they're dealing with some crazy stuff. And then the drugs and the alcohol and the pills, it just makes it worse. So I just tell students, stay away from it. Even though it seems cool, a lot of these are gateway drugs. Every single high-level successful person that I know is drug-free. They stay focused, they take care of their bodies, they take care of their minds, you know what I'm saying? And they're cautious about what they put into their bodies. And I'm not even talking about just like intoxicants and drugs and stuff like that, or opioids. I'm talking about like what they consume, TV, music, like they're real, you know what I'm saying, picky about what they ingest. And so I challenge every single one of you all to ask yourself the same thing. Where do I want to go in life? Where do I want to be in the future? What do I want my life to look like? Like what adjustments do I have to make so I can get to that next level? And then say, is the drugs and alcohol and the smoking and vaping and all these other negative things, is that helping me? You know what I'm saying? With my dreams coming true in the future, like, is that helping to propel me to the next level? If the answer is no, then you gotta let go of it. Regardless of how cool it seems or how fun it seems or how it makes you feel, that is temporary. This beautiful home I built, I wish I could take y'all through it. I should do like a MTV Cribs hookup. This home that we've been able to build, that didn't come off of feelings. That came off of hard work. That came off of dedication. That came off of sacrifice. That came off of discipline. And if you want to have your dreams come true, you got to be willing to be dedicated. You got to be willing to put in the hard work. You got to be willing to make the sacrifices. And you got to be willing to be disciplined as well. All right, great question. Question number 3, what you got?
What advice would you give to students that are dealing with anxiety during the pandemic?
Great question. Great question. So what advice would I give to students who are dealing with anxiety during the pandemic? Well, for me, that's smooth. I would tell them to get some help, right? You can't deal with it by yourself. I would challenge you to get some help. Find a counselor, find a therapist. I told y'all in the previous question, that's what I did. The drugs, alcohol, that did not help with my anxiety. It made it worse. You know what I'm saying? Because it began to mess up my brain. I would challenge every single one of you, if you find yourself in a dark place, if you find yourself depressed, if you find yourself struggling with anxiety, well, the worst thing you can do is keep it to yourself. You gotta talk to somebody. We all out here trying to figure this thing out. We all out here trying to grow. And your challenge is you're scrolling through social media and it seems like everybody winning and happy and you have no clue that when they put that post up, they was hurting on the inside. They were depressed on the inside. Everybody is struggling with this thing. Well, let me say this. Let me start to this. Maybe not everybody. There are some people that's like, hey, it is what it is. I'm gonna make the most of it, right? But there are a lot of people that's struggling in this season. And if you're struggling, I'm gonna tell you right now to get some help. I don't mind telling y'all, I got counselors, I got therapists, I got people I can sit with, I can talk about how I'm feeling. They can challenge me, they can redirect me, they can pour into me, they can encourage me. You are so special and so valuable. The worst thing that you can do is to keep that depression, that anxiety, that stress to yourself. You gotta talk to somebody. You gotta release it. And that's gonna cause for you to be real strong. You see, there's a myth that if you're strong, you don't need help. No, if you're strong, you'll ask for the help. If you're strong, you'll admit, you'll be vulnerable and say, hey, you know what? I can't do this thing by myself. I need some help. You know what I'm saying? I'm big and bad and bold and brave enough to ask for the help. I'm mature enough to say, I don't have all the answers and I need some help. And I want to challenge every single one of you students watching this video right now across the world, whether you're watching it at home or you're watching it in the classroom. I want to challenge you right now to ask yourself, do you feel like you need help? And if you do need help, I need you to talk to somebody. It starts with your parents, it starts with your guardians, it starts with your teachers, it starts with your students. What you cannot do in this next season is to keep it to yourself. It's 2021, y'all. This is a new year. We gotta have a new way of life, a new way of thinking, and a new way of doing things. And if you need help, you get the help because you deserve it. Why? Because this world needs the best version of yourself. And there's nothing more precious and more powerful and more special in this world than you and your mental health and your mental stability. So if you need help, ain't nothing wrong with it. Welcome to the club. It's called humanity. You know what I'm saying? We all need help. I want to challenge you to get the help you need so that you can live life on the next level. It's been great kicking it with y'all this week. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to email me more questions. Send me a DM with your questions, and maybe you or your school could be featured on a future episode. Y'all have a good one, and I'll see you next week. Hey, I hope you all enjoyed today's episode, and I wanted to share 2 quick things with you before you get back to class. For one, I want more videos from students just like you. So with your parents' approval, your school's approval, email those questions to me directly from your phone to info@jeremyanderson.org. It's right there on the screen, info@jeremyanderson.org. Send me your questions and you could be the next student that we feature in our video series. Also, to every teacher, counselor, and administrator watching this video, we've released our all new updated Next Level Students character curriculum. We've got a K-12 social and emotional learning curriculum that focuses on the whole child that is sure to be a game changer for your school. So visit nextlevelstudents.org and find out more information about our curriculum, and we're here to help take your school to the next level.